G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, Stew 226. This is the first stew for a little while. We've been away on holidays, so look, we've had a great time. I'll get on to what we got up to. I better do the weather report. I'm a bit bloody rusty, eh? Yeah. Anyway, it should come good. Should come good in another year or two. But yeah, look, at the moment it's 15 to 24 in Bundy, and if I look outside, it's a sunny day, but we got little bits of dark cloud come across. They don't seem to make anything out of them really, but they're there. Wind's 22 kilometres southeast, so that's our winter breeze. So it's a little bit chilly. Got the t-shirt on under the shirt, not that you could bloody tell, and but yeah, gusts to 30, so it is a bit breezy today. So the old shed up the back's rattling away, and yeah, so I haven't done much up there. Just well, I did the other day, but not today. So we got back late last week from our trip away. We were away for 4 weeks. The the Land Cruiser went as you'd expect a Land Cruiser to go. Look, it didn't miss a beat. The only problem I had for the whole trip was where I put the clear view mirrors on. You put the screws in the door and there's little plastic plugs that pop in, and they feel like they clip in quite well, but on reading the instructions it said put a bit of silicone around them to hold them in. And well, I didn't want to do that straight up because I thought, oh, I might be able to pop them out and just check the screws later on, then I'll do it. But anyway, on a couple of the rough roads we got onto, they fell out, so I ordered some more from Clearview, $10 for the 8 new plastic plugs, but that was sort of my own fault. All the electrics worked well, the awnings worked well, the ute went well. Look, it's just, we played with tyre pressures a bit. When I first took off I had it up on 60 pound at the back and about 35, oh, probably 40 at the front I think it was. And it was a bit jarry, yeah, so we dropped it back down, and I think we're a bit over 50 on the back and 35 on the front, and look, it's a nice ride with the weight we're carrying. We were happy with that. We did 6,200 and I had poor old Jude, every time we pulled up at a survey she'd take the mileage for me and the litres and all that, just so I had a bit of an idea how we were running. But we did, and these kilometres and mileage, that's adjusted for speedo error. I've worked out the speedo error and I've put that into the thing. Because we've got bigger wheels on it, we've gone to 33-inch wheels, the speedo's out a little bit. So I'd worked that out over the trip away, how much we are out, and I've brought that into the equation. So so we did 6,202 kilometres. And the total mileage, as in litres per 100 kilometres, is 13.891 litres for every 100 kilometres. So I haven't worked that out in miles per gallon for Brian. Brian, put in the thing, eh? So litres, and then you got the US gallons versus Pommy gallons and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, 13.891 litres of fuel used for every 100 kilometres. And look, there was a lot of highway use there because, you know, we drove a lot of miles. You know, sometimes between towns it would be 300 kilometres, or what would that be? Well, 160 kilometres is 100 miles thereabouts. So yeah, so some would be 120-30 miles between towns, and a bit of that was a little bit dull and boring, but look, it was fine. We enjoyed it. Jude and I both enjoyed our trip away. Towards the end of our trip it got really windy on the coast. We spent a lot of time out west and then we come over to the coast, and when it was really windy, putting up the big awning was a bit of a hassle. It was the wind was just too much, and it was like you're hanging onto a hang glider, and we thought, oh well, we'll bugger something up if we do that, keep doing it. So the last 3 or 4 nights we stayed at motels and hotels and things like that, had fun. We met some fair dinkum Aussies, you know, some just bloody salt of the earth people. a lot of the towns, because they're so far away, they're an hour away or something like that. Once it gets to 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and if we're going through a little town and there's one pub town, we'd often call in and just have one beer, have a pot, and say good day, and then we'd decide if we're going to stay or whether we'd move on and all that. And we met some terrific people out at we went to Lara Station, which is a Lara wetlands. Something happened with the card on the GoPro. I walked around filming for a couple of days that we stayed there at Lara, but none of it come out, and I haven't worked it out why or anything. I've got another card in, and the bloody camera worked fine after that, so who knows. But yeah, I got 4 videos up while we were away. There was more stuff, but we sort of didn't film everything. If we paid to go in, we didn't think it was right taking cameras around and all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, look, it was a good trip. I got a message from Ross the day I got back. No, next morning I got back. These little PDO sleeves that we make. We put a kit out, and this is the sleeve that presses onto the PDO shaft of a TE20, so the seal can go. So you haven't got to replace the whole shaft. If this seal surface is quite worn, we make these as a circlip each side, and I make them here. And I bloody gave them a stack of them. You know, I thought I had a couple of months' supply before I went away, but they sold all them. So Friday, yeah, when I got home, I sat on the lathe for the whole. Look, it takes a bloody long time. I made 13 of them. By the time you get the steel, and then you got to machine it to spec, and I always bugger 1 or 2 up. You know, get it 0.02 of a mil. I've got a tolerance. I use about 0.02 of a millimetre each way. But yeah, usually one I stuff up the first one, then I've got my eye in, and I'm right. And so yeah, so most of Friday I spent in the little shop here making these. And we got 13 done, and apparently Jude was saying 1 sold already. And I whizzed into the shop to pick up some bits and pieces, and Jude went in yesterday, Sunday, and paid all the bills at the end of the month. So Jude's in at work now. It's Monday morning, and I'm home buggering about, pretending I know what I'm doing. After being away, yeah, I spent a full day on the mower, whippersnipping and mowing and all that. And the place is looking good again, and now the cooler air's come through. Hopefully that's it for a little while. We won't have to worry too much about it anymore. Yeah, it'll be hopefully I can just get a bit of time in the shed. I put on a few kilos while I went away. Oh, look, we had a great time. Jude and I got this rule when we're on holidays. We don't count kilos or money. We just go. We don't have many holidays, so we just go and have a great time. But we got to the we're in a group called Country Pub Camping, and it's a group that helps the little country pubs in remote areas get business, and a lot of them will let you camp out the back for free or for $10 or something like that, but you need to go and buy a beer and a meal and support the pubs a little bit, and that gives them a bit of business. And that suits me because I like a beer. Oh, we met some great people, but we worked out it's not a cheap way of camping. By the time you, I better not break my glasses here. Yeah, by the time you go into an afternoon for a beer with the locals, and you have 3 or 4 pots there or schooners, and then you have an evening meal, and then if you get chatting to some bloke in there, we have a few more. And, yeah, Jude reckons we could stay in a motel for the price of country pub camping. But look, we had fun. We met some great people. We met people from Bundy everywhere. I was worried that bloody, whoever was the last one left in Bundy, if they turned the lights out for us. Yeah, we just, wherever we were, we'd run into people from Bundaberg. So, not that we knew, but we've got the ARB Bundaberg stickers on the ute, and people would say, "Oh, you're from Bundy," and so then we get chatting. But yeah, some people from town here we never knew, and we kept running into them. You know, you're sort of doing a similar lap, so you run into each other. And at the Prairie Hotel, we're doing a country pub camping there, and yeah, we ran into Roscoe and Noreen that we'd run into a few times before around at Winton and places like that. So so we settled in for the night with them, and oh, I think it was a great night. These ringers were there, and these ringers are they're like stockmen or all rounders, cattle blokes. They got to do a bit of cattle and just whatever's on a station, just whatever has to happen, they do. And and these ringers, they had 77 gates to make, and they were halfway through them. And then once they made them, they had to head out to the station and fit them, because someone had taken over this other property and they were putting extra fences in, and they needed to muster all the cattle. So big properties, some of them. You hear the droughts broken in some parts of Australia. Well, between Winton and Cloncurry, there was dead cattle in the paddocks on the side of the road still, so the drought still was really full on there. And dead cattle, was only a couple of them, but just not a good thing to see. We got right out to Mount Isa, like we did Barcaldine, then Ilfracombe, Longreach, went up to the Truck Museum at Winton, something I'd wanted to do. Then went to Cloncurry, the Blue Heeler Hotel, had a pot on the way through, and a quick yarn to them, young bloke running it now, him and his missus. And then the Walkabout Hotel at McKinley, the Crocodile Dundee pub, well, they open at 10 and shut at 1, then open at 5, and I don't know what time they shut. And we were there about 1:45, and Jude says, I might just whiz over and grab a couple of photos of the place. So she's getting a couple of photos, and I said, you're right. And she says, yeah, I said, all right, we'll go and have lunch here. And went to walk in the door, and they just shut the door. Said, no, it's 1 o'clock. And we said, oh shit, can't have a look in. I said, no, you're come back at 5. Well, when you're in the middle of nowhere, I don't know what you're going to do for 4 hours. So it was a tiny little town, so they just shut the doors as we were walking up, and there was an old bloke out the side that we'd met in Winton, and he was having a stubby and a smoke on the veranda. And he says, no mate, she's shut. And he says, oh, they told him to piss off, gave him a stubby. So there's a stubby. And so anyway, we didn't get to see in there. Didn't really matter, we weren't going back. The Cloncurry is well worth a look with the John Flynn Museum there. He was a flying doctor fella. And we spun out to Mount Isa. I didn't think much of Mount Isa. I didn't like it there much. It wasn't my type of place. It just didn't have a nice feel to it. And you saw the Mary Kathleen in between those two. Then we come back, and my niece in north of Townsville there, she's got a new fella. You may remember my nephew Phil that committed suicide a few years ago. Well, it's his wife. And anyway, she's met a new fella in life, and it's been a few years now. And while we were up that way, I wanted to say g'day to Benny, and so we went to Townsville, but he wasn't going to come back until the next Tuesday. He's flying in from the mines, so we shot up, and that's where we did the skywalk and mucked around up north a little bit. And look, it was great, yeah. And then we come back and stayed there for a couple of nights and had a couple of snappy ones, and met Benny, lovely bloke. They're going to come down maybe later in the year if they're coming past. His parents live in North New South, so maybe on the way they'll get here. You never know with trips. Sometimes you've got time to bugger about, and other times you don't. So we'll see. So all in all, it was a good holiday. I had to come back and and get straight back into it. Got home late Thursday evening. Friday morning I was in the shop here I was in here most of the day, sorting a few things out and making these fellas. And Aaron from Aaron Engineering, he sent me a sticker pack. Now Aaron's got a couple of channels, and I see at the moment he's doing he's playing with knurling on vice jaws sort of things, just radius knurls and things like that. So have a look. He's got 2 channels. Aaron Engineering is one, and the other one is Design Creativity, so DCT. They're 2 separate channels. I've got one of them over here, Aaron, and the other one over here. You and Craig's workshop. You can have a bit of a chat. Swan Valley and Matty's workshop. You're in that corner there, so yeah, introduce yourselves to each other and have a good time. Yeah, go and check him out. Thanks, Aaron. And he also gave us a matejoe.com. So I've got to check that out yet. I'm not 100% sure with that, but I will find out and see. Yeah, before I went away, I sent Aaron some stickers and a cooler, and this turned up while I was away. So he's probably been wondering where it was. It's here now. Thanks, Aaron. And Aaron Powter. So yeah, education and technology consultant. So he must be smarter than us tractor blokes, I reckon. Wouldn't be hard, would it? Does CNC stuff and that, and that's yeah, I can work my laptop on a good day. The I was a bit keen to get back and play with my little Fergie, the TEA up the back there. And if you remember, before I went away, the front axle beam was rooted, and I had another beam. I got a second-hand one, and I had to machine it out. So I got it up into the mill there, and on the x-axis on the milling machine, the DRO's playing up. You know, normally you can come and touch off one side of the hole. So say you come in here, you can come and touch off this side of the hole, then you go and touch off on the other side of the hole, then you can tell the DRO to halve it, and that gives you your centre, and you can do that in the X and Y. And but yeah, for some reason there's a little dead spot in there, and even though it was 50.9 millimetres, I think it was, across, it was only registered about 45. So there's something not right in that DRO on the x-axis. The Y seems okay. So yeah, I'll have to get the doors open in the shipping container and get up the back and have a look. I don't know, maybe a bit of swarth or a bit of oil or a bit of coolant got into it, or into the glass scale or something like that. When you wind it along by hand gently, it seems to go okay. It was just when you're coming one way to the other, it was about 5 mil out, because you look at it and when you machine stuff, you sort of think, oh yeah, you know, you check yourself, you go, oh, left touch, right touch, harbour that, and you look and yep, that's in the middle, yeah, that looks good, and away you go. So I had to fiddle with that for quite a bit, and I ended up using the coax indicator to centralise the hole, and once I got that worked out, I could bore it, and I fiddled up the back. I've got to buy a couple of bolts. I've got the axle beam in, and I've got those kingpin housings I did on. I may take the camera up for a walk, and we'll have a bit of a look up there and see. And so yeah, so from Friday, it's Monday now, so Friday all day making parts for the shop. Saturday on the mower, whippersnipping, and Paulie come over, and then yesterday a bit on the tractor. Then the boat, where the boat sits on the trailer with the cruiser with the wheels out the back, it gets very close when you turn. So I've just been bugging around this morning, and I've been sliding. I've slid the boat back on the trailer about 120-30 millimetres to give me a bit of room there, and I've had to bring the winch back and adjust all the rollers up. So I've been doing that this morning. I'll give the ute a wash. The ute's due for an oil change, but I ordered a proper spanner for the engine oil filter. Last time I got a heap of rag and got me multis and got it undone, which I don't want to do twice. I'll mark it up if I do. And yeah, they sent me the socket, but the fella, it's all apologies, his missus was doing the posting for him when he had a week off, and she sent me some eyelets that were meant for someone else. So I'm waiting on the spanner. So as soon as the spanner comes, we'll do the oil change on the cruiser. I think it's done about 7,500 now. I changed the oil at 1,084. So yeah, it's it'll be a good chance, a good time to change the oil being new. I mean, and I may even change all the diffs and everything while I go now. A couple of times we actually put it in four-wheel drive when we were sneaking around mountains, and it was just a bit rough, and I probably didn't need to put it in four-wheel drive, but it was just good to turn the gears, and on a four-wheel drive, when you've got freewheeling hubs, the crown wheel and pinion can just sit there rattling away for bloody yonks. So so it's good to just give them a run and, you know, stir the oil up and hopefully it'll stop in a new position and all that. So, but yeah, look, really happy with the ute. It's good. People say they got hard seats and this and that, but I said to Jude how was she going with it, and she was happy with it. So yeah, it's all is good, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, I've still got a few jobs here to do. I've got to sort that milling machine out there. That'll take a while. Yeah, Jude and I reckon next camping trip we're doing, and we're sort of getting organised, but we're just going to park up for a few days down the beach and just go fishing. That's why I'm bugging around getting the boat ready. Young Arrow's son, grandson, he's all keen. When are we going fishing, Poppy? He's bloody onto me all the time. So I said, yeah, look, we'll get the boat sorted out and we'll go. So yeah, hopefully within a fortnight or so I might get doing just an overnighter or something like that with the young bottom. See if we can catch a fish, or even if we don't, just a bit of a camp will be good fun. He just loves that stuff. So in Bundaberg this Thursday is show day. So probably if you ring Queensland Tractor Spares on Thursday and the phone rings out, you probably won't do anything. I've got a mate Ashley, his dad Cyril, he's got a shed, and I've bought a heap of stuff off Cyril in the past, bits and pieces, but they're helping the old bloke clean his shed and that out, so they want to know what I like to go Thursday, and just cast an eye over it for them and see if there's anything of value and let them know how they're going with it. So that's Thursday. Judy will be in the shop, but look, she'll probably be single-handed. It's a public holiday, so Ross, Allen and Nicole will be having the day off, and so yeah, probably try not to ring on Thursday. Friday will be a good day, and we'll see how we go there. But look, that's it. That's the first stew back, stew 226. I'll grab the camera, I'll go for a walk. I've got to take the rider mower up the back. I hooked up a little pump to drain the fuel out of the boat. I was worried about the boat fuel getting stale, and it's got a 120 litre tank, and I've been trying to run it down, so I only got 20 litres out of it, so that's good. It's empty now, so I'll have to hook on one day and whiz into town and fill it up again. I've got this fuel additive stuff in there, but the forklift had a flat battery when I come home. The boat battery's buggered when I come home, so I got a few batteries to buy and a few little jobs there too. So it's just how it is, eh? But look, thanks for dropping by. Hopefully we're back on track. I'll take the camera off the stand here. I'll take it for a run up the back. I'll just show you what I've been up to on the little TEA. I've got quite a lot of parts there for it now. While I was away, a hydraulic pump repair kit came for it. I've got all the PDO shaft kit there for it. I've even got a clutch for it, but I want to get it running first. So the reason I haven't got the radiator and all that sorted out was because I had to fix that front axle. So so now the front axle's done. Hopefully, maybe next weekend I'll see how I go, if I can get a radiator in. I'm not going to use the original radiator. If you look back on the video of stripping the engine down, there was that much crap in that engine. I don't want to use the old radiator and put it in, but I may send the old radiator away and get it serviced, you know, get the tanks taken off and cleaned and all that, but I have a new Sparex radiator to go in it. And so I'll be putting the new Sparex radiator in and some radiator hose and a bit of coolant, and the other day I put the screen in and put the sump plug in, and I've got it half full of oil and all that. So stay with us. I'll go handheld. I'll take the camera up the back and I'll just show you what we're up to with that little tractor. Well, this is the little TEA. Now, I've got all the front axle in that beam. I've got the new bush in there, the new pin all hooked up. If you remember, I welded the nuts in for the bonnet pivot. I'm a bolt short for here. A couple of the other bolts on the ground there, they're the wrong thread. They just look shittier, so I haven't done that. As with all my tractors, I've got the stainless steel bolt coming down through the radius rod with an eye there for hooking on the trailer so I can take it places. I just do that on all my tractors. I have the one set of chains that go okay. I've got to do the wheel alignment yet, and actually set it down on the ground level. I've got the oil here. That's a bit of oil we've had hanging around at work, 2570. I'm going to run that. If you remember, we put new big end bearings and all in this, but the mains weren't. I put the bottom plate on. It's got a new sump plug in it. The other one was all chowdered up. I've got the pipe ready to go from the air cleaner down, but I haven't got the hoses for the end. We've been having a bit of trouble with supply. I've got the dash rubber and this little screw here. I had to leave it with penetrating oil on it and all that when I was away, and I still had to belt shit out of it to get it out, so I have to replace this little screw here. But I got that rubber on, and this little bracket here for the regulator, that was just all twisted, and it took me a couple of hours the other day to work out exactly where it went. So I put I went and looked at all my other tractors, none of them had them left. So anyway, but this has just had the shitter belted out of it, so that's where it's going there. I believe that's the right spot. I cut all the old wiring harness off. It was just bare wires everywhere. I thought it was dangerous, so I don't know if we can get a new, people have new harnesses, but last time I looked they were out of stock. So I need to get the hose from there, get the radiator, oh that's flaring out a little bit, get the radiator sat on, and the fuel tank. Now, I do have a new fuel tank there for it because the old one was crook under that saw there. I suppose I'll put that on. Probably won't look the best, the new tank, but the old tank was just, it had little patches everywhere on it, and I didn't want to go with that. It was leaking around the seams, but I suppose I have seen worse. But anyway, we'll worry about that when we get to it. So I got a little bit done, but then, yeah, with everything else going on, I had to stop again. So there you go. That's it. Stew 226. We'll catch you all next week, eh? See ya.